Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us for a special edition of CBS News Detroit at 7. I'm Ahmad, a Lebanese Arab American.
And I'm Ibrahim, Samra, a Palestinian Arab American. And if you didn't know, the month of April marks the celebration of National Arab American Heritage Month. It's only one day away, and it's an opportunity to promote the Arab heritage and empower Arab Americans not only across the country, but right here in Southeast Michigan. So, Ahmed, we have
quite a thing going on tonight.
Quite the show. We have a lot of guests, a lot of things that need to be learned.
Oh, yeah.
Including one special guest that is right here.
Yeah, tonight we're going to actually take an in-depth look at the past, the present, and the future of Arab American Heritage Month, and then, of course, Arab Americans here in Southeast Michigan. And we're joined right now, by the way, by Matthew Jaber Stifler with the Arab American History Museum there in Dearborn, right on Michigan Avenue, by the way.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here.
And I wanted to begin really with, the National Arab American Museum. It's something, a staple in the community, a place that you can learn a lot. And where did really Southeast Michigan become a melting pot for Arab Americans across this country? Why Michigan?
Sure. I mean, Arab Americans live all over the country, and every state has an Arab American community, but Michigan's is one of the largest and one of the most visible. And it really began in the late 1800s when immigrants from Lebanon and Syria and Palestine were coming here and settling in Metro Detroit, and just kept coming.
And you have some artifacts that is right here. I see Shaggy, I see some wrestling shoes. However, I'm sure there's got to be a reason why.
Yeah, so I mean, Shaggy himself is probably not Arab American, but the voice of Shaggy and all of the Scooby-Doo cartoons was by Casey Kasem.
Yes.
Detroit-raised Lebanese American, and this doll is actually signed by Casey Kasem on the stomach, and was donated to us by one of our community members, which is how we get all of our artifacts at the museum.
And when did the museum officially open? I grew up in Dearborn, and I never really left the state. I'm really boring. But I remember it, kind of being pitched as an idea, and then it was starting to be built while really across the street was the old city hall. And now it's there. When did the idea really kind of first come about, and how did it get up to where it is now?
Well, the fundraising started in 2000 by an agency named Access, which has been serving people in the Dearborn and Metro Detroit community for over 50 years. But in 2000, the fundraising began, and the museum opened its doors in May 2005.
And I know a big part of specifically Dearborn, the Dearborn area. I mean, it is not only, as I mentioned, a melting pot, but also home to Henry Ford and the automotive industry. What does that have to do with what we're seeing today, and as far as the amount of Arab Americans that are coming to this area? Sure.
So when Henry Ford opened his plant in Dearborn in the 1920s, it attracted a lot of people from all over the world, including a lot of Arabic-speaking folks who came and settled around the factory in Dearborn, and that community continued to grow. And then as things happened in Arab countries that kind of forced people to migrate, they just kept coming to this area, and then we get the community that we have today.
And the evolution over time truly through the area. I mean, it's not just Dearborn. I mean, you look at Hamtramck and all around the area, really. The population, obviously, like you said, it's just continued to grow and expand. I mean, and it's just like you said, it's a melting pot. There's this mixture of cultures and everything that go between all the different areas. But while these are those primary spots, you're starting to see it actually throughout a lot more of southeastern Michigan now.
Yeah, the Tri-County area has historic and some even more new communities, and even as far west as Coldwater, Michigan has a large Yemeni population that's been there for many decades. So it's definitely the whole state. It's not just Metro Detroit.
All right, you have a couple more artifacts to show.
Sure.
I'll let you pick one.
Okay, let's do these. These are actually boxing boots, and these were worn by a Yemeni American, Saddam Ali, who was in the 2008 Olympics, and he was also a title holder in middleweight title for the nation. Now, he's not from Detroit, but he boxes out of New York, but it represents the very prominent Arab American boxing scene here in Detroit, especially among Yemeni Americans.
See, now, obviously, Detroit and boxing, I knew those go together really, really well, but that part I did not know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's, even Tariq Salamasi, Lebanese American, was on the first season of the reality show The Contender. So yeah, there's a lot of boxing history here in the Arab American community.
And we see one thing hanging off at the desk right
Sure.
there. Why don't you go ahead and explain?
So Detroit is home to a lot of innovative artists and fashion folks, and this is a drawing and a pin that goes with a dress designed by Lebanese American Ruth Joyce, whose family immigrated from Lebanon, and she was very well known in the area in the 50s and 60s for making and selling couture fashion.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because I'm started to see a lot of, like When I was growing up, especially around Dearborn, you weren't seeing all these, different fashion boutiques and everything starting to pop up, and that really is starting to become a big thing now too around the area. I mean, is that a trend that you see really starting to continue to go to?
Yeah, I mean, you can see a lot of Arab American-owned clothing stores, especially stores that cater to Muslim women with more modest clothing, are popping up all over Dearborn and into Metro Detroit.
And we have 15 seconds, but before we go, how can people get more information about the National Arab American Museum?
Sure, the easiest way is go to arabamericanmuseum.org and you can see everything that we're up to.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you. Matthew, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. And of course, when we come back, it's a story you don't want to miss. We'll be joined by members from Helping Hands, that's with 3 Z's, an organization delivering leftover food from Ramadan to feed the hungry in Metro Detroit. Be right back.
I don't know if there's been a better time to start a brand new news operation.
The newsroom was pretty much starting from scratch.
It's fresh, it's innovative.
Lots of energy, lots of passionate reporters.
Knowing what we're starting here puts so much joy in my heart.
We have reporters who are embedded in these communities.
Many people throughout St. Clair Shores have been fighting to save this water tower.
If there's a miracle out there, get a hold of me.
We are part of the neighborhood. Our newsroom is part of your neighborhood.
Residents here on Stansbury say they are fed up with all this flooding that keeps happening.
We shouldn't have to live like this.
Telling the stories that otherwise nobody would know about. Now, AJ, you went to the downtown boxing gym and you really got to see how this gym is impacting kids' lives.
Yeah, Chris, as soon as I walked in the building, it was very uplifting.
It is a boxing gym, but it's more than boxing. We do homework. We help them with the SAT.
When it comes to the weather, it's forecasting what's going to fall on your driveway, when is it going to happen, and how might it actually affect your day-to-day life.
Hundreds of people continue to call in reporting problems throughout the county.
Cleanup crews working all throughout Metro Detroit.
Get them down and get them cleaned up.
Local news to me means we're in your community, we're telling stories that matter to you, that affect you, that maybe we can get change and things done in your community.
She was born without a right arm, and then her legs didn't grow, I guess, the way that they should have.
But for 20-year-old Fortune High School alum Sumaya, she doesn't let that, or anything else for that matter, get in her way.
You have a favorite button over there.
Yeah, you want to, is it?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and...
This is my favorite.
I hope everyone watching that piece in particular says, I want to help that little girl and help that family and help get her to college.
Well, we are rethinking the way local news is done in the 21st century and how to tell the most important stories in a compelling way.
You can get news anywhere, but for us, we're a fresh face with a new perspective, and we're trying to make a difference in the community to tell stories that matter to you.
I think we're here to listen and actually hear what you're saying, and we're putting together a newscast that will show that.
I want to tell those people's stories because it's needed. Detroit is ready. Get ready, because here we come.
Reporting in Dearborn Heights.
Live in Wayne County.
Reporting in Adrian.
Live in Livonia.
Reporting from South Lyon, Kelly Vaughn.
CBS News Detroit.
Welcome back. We're honoring National Arab American Heritage Month, and Ibrahim, we went over that history, of course, before with what makes Southeast Michigan a melting pot for Arabs all across the country. But there are some Arab Americans making history by taking homemade meals and serving them to the homeless right here.
Yeah, that's right, Ahmad. And of course, it's all happening in Dearborn, home to the largest proportion of Arab Americans in the country.
From picking up food to preparing.
Mariam, where did you want the mac? It's an open box of cereal.
I can ask if they have hummus.
And packing it up.
Like this. I can put the meals in my trunk, and then I have some drinks in the bag.
Helping Hands.
Follow us at the Helping Hands with 3 Z's.
Not only are showing up at doors.
So I just knock on the door.
In Dearborn.
You think it's on the porch again?
But are taking those leftover home-cooked meals. And when people see you guys come pick up this food, knowing what you guys are doing with it, I guess what are their reactions?
A lot of it is Allah ya'tikum al-afiyah. You guys are doing a great job. I mean, it's been 7 years, so a lot of people know kind of what we do now.
To those who don't have one.
Hello. We have a meal for you if you're interested. Growing up, I was always taught, like, when there's someone at the corner to just give them what you have in the car, like, just kind of support them. My dad would give me the money to the back seat, and I would give it. Like, it was something that was really special to me. And oh, that's good for the homeless. I'll take that. Thank you.
With more than $400 billion of food thrown away in the U.S. every year.
Don't throw away your food. You know, it's really bad to throw away rice, anything, to be honest.
Rice, bread, food in general, and everything.
Founder Nadine Dawood says finding a way to feed people.
Where'd you guys put the meals? In my trunk?
Food that often goes untouched.
These are buns. Oh, I guess we can pass that out too.
Or ends up being too much.
A lot of food.
May seem like a far-fetched idea.
Did we start selling 17? I thought it was earlier.
No, 17.
But during the month of Ramadan.
Is there anything I can help you with?
I'm trying to put that stuff away.
You're donating these?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can move them over.
Helping families.
Follow me, I'm the leader.
Comes first.
We have really big dinners in my grandma's basement every year for Ramadan, and a lot of food would get left over, so I said, let me just take them downtown, and I just threw like an Instagram post saying, hey, if anyone has anything that you guys didn't touch, like I'll take it with me, and then it just got blown up.
An idea Nadine says began with a text. Pretty much every night you guys get text message of here's the houses you need to go to, and then that's pretty much where every house that you hit up.
Yeah, basically.
And now has turned into
we have a new volunteer.
An entire team of volunteers willing to help.
She's an ICU nurse, he's a volunteer.
Oh, okay.
I'm the guy that comes every night.
While most families are done breaking bread and getting ready for bed, folks like Dawood Wahbi.
So basically what we do whenever we come and sort everything, we kind of designate each car.
And Hussein Sarini.
Hey, this is some nice Tupperware. Maybe we should bring it back.
Are out on the road.
Oh my gosh, same house. I just went around the block.
Checking their phone and seeing if anyone
735. I think that is the address.
Is home.
The food was waiting for us.
When they're done, their next run is ready at the mosque.
Where we drive to about 15 to 20 houses, and we also get drop-offs to the mosque, and we go ahead and make meals for the homeless people in the shelter.
All good to go?
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, guys.
It's time to hop on the road.
So now we're what? We're in Greektown.
Yeah.
And deliver meals.
So in each package, I like to put like a rice, a protein, a vegetable, and we love to throw a dessert on the side. The other day, we gave this guy right here a bag of gummy worms. A bag.
Oh, wow.
The next day, he said he ate them all.
To those?
It was so funny.
His birthday is April 17th.
Yeah, but we make sure to give him something sweet, and we'll tell him.
We sing him happy birthday.
Who need it most?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. It doesn't matter what race you are, you know, where you come from, how you were raised. If you're human, you deserve to have a full stomach, and that was what we were all about.
Reporting for CBS News Detroit.
Y'all be safe.
You
too, brother.
Thank you.
I'm
You guys have to do hands. What are you doing?
Ibrahim Samra.
Now that was an amazing story.
That's
One
awesome.
that you guys spearheaded from the very beginning. This was the first time you guys ever watched that. And of course, before, I should probably introduce who these guys are.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably a good idea.
Nadine
Nadine Dawood, who is the founder of Helping Hands with 3 Z's.
Yes.
And of course, Sada Abdullah, who obviously had a lot to do with putting this thing together. And for you, Nadine, I want to know your reaction after watching that.
I mean, it's so surreal. We do this every night, but to see it all like in one shot, we do a lot, but I mean, alhamdulillah, I couldn't be more blessed to have that opportunity, and God gives us the energy to keep going and not feel it all the time, but definitely a lot of work goes into it, but I wouldn't want it any other way.
I mean, this is so I've never seen something like this before.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I can speak for everybody when it's just like the hearts of gold
Aw,
for both of you right
thank
here. I
you.
mean,
Yeah.
so you go forward with this. I mean, this is a huge thing every single time you do it. I mean, and it seems like it just keeps being bigger and bigger.
I know, that's so true. Yeah, you know, the other day a volunteer actually mentioned, like, how do you feel now that it's this big? And I stood for a sec, I'm like, you know what, I never really thought of it like that. I don't think I achieved much, to be honest. I feel like this is just why I was put here, and God assigned this to me, so no matter what comes my way, to be honest, it was just already planned, and it feels like it's made for me and it's right for me. So I don't feel like I achieved anything. I feel like we all came together and we just made this happen, and we're just doing God's work.
You know, and as a person in the passenger seat watching that all unfold, this happens after iftar, after people are done fasting. You guys have about 30 minutes to eat and then get to the mosque and then really disperse and get your mission going. And it didn't end till about 12:30 at night, you know. And so I guess my question for you guys is, I mean, just as a person watching that, you guys were singing to folks happy birthday. I mean, where does that all come from? I mean, for you, Sada, I mean, seeing that all come together, and as a person who is a part of this mission, how does that make you feel when you see those smiles on people's faces?
Oh yeah, it's the most amazing feeling. Like, we go into this, we've been doing this for 7 years now. It started off with just a few of us, and now it's become this big thing. And like, those people that we see every night are literally, like, they turn into family. Like, we see them every day throughout the whole month. Some of them we've been seeing repeatedly year after year. And it's just like, they see us, they're like, oh, the Helping Hands is here. They're so excited, and they'll say happy Ramadan, and they'll say all these cool things. And it's amazing, it really is.
And that was the post-iftar mission. There's also a pre-iftar mission, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, so our pre-iftar mission, every year we try to get sponsors to sponsor a family in our community that needs help. So what goes on is you're able to message us on our page and say, I want to sponsor our family this year, and then we go ahead and put you on the list on our calendar, and you go ahead and order a meal from a restaurant nearby and pay for it, and then everything else is up to us. We'll go ahead and send a volunteer over to pick that up and then send it over to the family right before we break our fast, so they have something to eat.
Ahmad, I have a question for you. Do you know what the 3 Z's stand for? In Helping Hands?
Let's see.
With how late it is at night, I'm going to assume people are sleeping or something.
I think you cheated. He probably overheard me talking about it in the newsroom earlier.
He told me beforehand.
Well, besides the fact that the handle was actually taken, we had to come up with something really creative. And before, when it was long summer nights, because Ramadan goes back 10 days every year, it was really long nights. We were there until 1:32 in the morning, you know, 7 years back. So I just came up with this creative thing with the 3 Z's that represents us working at night while everyone else is sleeping.
And one thing you guys mentioned on that night is, especially Sada, you talked about, you know, this is something that you guys want to hopefully expand bigger than Southeast Michigan or just the Metro Detroit area.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is something that, I mean, Nadine and I always talk about her vision for the Helping Hands, and like, we always talk about one day we're going to open up our own shelter called the Helping Hands, and it'll be with 3 Z's, and it'll be something that way we can kind of get everyone into one centralized place. We can help them out there, give them something to eat, somewhere to sleep at night, and hopefully even set them up with jobs and whatever else we can potentially help with.
Yeah, the mission will continue, like with the whole drop-off and repurposing this food. We will hope to get that food dropped off straight to that shelter where we're still using and utilizing that food that just gets forgotten about.
And we got 2 stars that are in the studio that I want to come up right now because they also helped put this thing together. And hopefully they can hear me. Come on up, come on up.
My besties.
And tell us, for those who don't know, tell us who these individuals are and why they are so important to your team.
Yeah, so Dawood hopped on with us 7 years ago. He's my brother's best friend, but you know, he hopped on and he hasn't left my side since. And then we have Maryam here, who hopped on a couple years ago, but she's made the biggest difference for us as well. So we're so grateful to have any new faces, but especially these 2 on my side every year.
And before we let you guys go, if anyone wants any more information, how to volunteer, how to donate food, what could they what could they do?
Yeah, so we have an Instagram handle called The Helping Hands with the 3 Z's at the end. So you're welcome to follow our page and ask us any questions that you guys might have, especially if you want to donate or volunteer for us. And then we also just launched our TikTok account with the same handle. We're trying to, you know, get out there and get more exposure because we hope to help more than just our Metro Detroit community. We're trying to really take it out there and move this blueprint to other states and cities as well.
Amazing.
Thank
Absolutely amazing. Thank you, both of you, all for coming on. For coming on in. See, I think I can speak for all of us that what you're doing is seriously, it's just gold.
Truly amazing.
Truly
amazing.
Thank you so much.
So when we come back, we're going to be joined by a Dearborn Public Schools official for a closer look at the future now of Arab American heritage in Southeast Michigan. We'll be right back.
I don't know if there's been a better time to start a brand new news operation.
The newsroom was pretty much starting from scratch.
It's fresh, it's innovative.
Lots of energy, lots of passionate reporters.
Knowing what we're starting here put so much joy in my heart.
We have reporters who are embedded in these communities.
Many people throughout St. Clair Shores have been fighting to save this water tower.
If there's a miracle out there, get a hold of me.
We are part of the neighborhood. Our newsroom is part of your neighborhood.
Residents here on Stansbury say they are fed up with all this flooding that keeps happening.
We shouldn't have to live like this.
Telling the stories that otherwise nobody would know about. Now, AJ, you went to the downtown boxing gym and you really got to see how this gym is impacting kids' lives.
Yeah, Chris, as soon as I walked in the building, it was very uplifting.
It's a boxing gym, but it's more than boxing. You know, we do homework. We help them with the SAT.
When it comes to the weather, it's forecasting what's going to fall on your driveway, when is it going to happen, and how might it actually affect your day-to-day life.
Hundreds of people continue to call in reporting problems throughout the county.
Cleanup crews working all throughout Metro Detroit.
Get them down and get them cleaned up.
Local news to me means we're in your community, we're telling stories that matter to you, that affect you, that maybe we can get change and things done in your community.
She was born without a right arm, and then her legs didn't grow, I guess, the way that they should have.
But for 20-year-old Fortin High School alum Sumaya, she doesn't let that, or anything else for that matter, get in her way.
So you have a favorite button over there?
Yeah, you want to press it?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and...
This is my favorite.
I hope everyone watching that piece in particular says, I want to help that little girl and help that family and help get her to college.
Well, we are rethinking the way local news is done in the 21st century and how to tell the most important stories in a compelling way.
You can get news anywhere, but for us, we're a fresh face with a new perspective, and we're trying to make a difference in the community to tell stories that matter to you.
I think we're here to listen and actually hear what you're saying, and we're putting together a newscast that will show that.
I want to tell those people's stories because it's needed. Detroit is ready. Get ready, because here we come.
Reporting in Dearborn Heights.
Live in Wayne County.
Reporting in Adrian.
Live in Livonia.
Reporting from South Lyon, Kelly Vaughn.
CBS News Detroit.
Welcome back. Dearborn has the largest Middle Eastern population in the country for schools. I myself am a former Dearborn pioneer, and I just heard everybody that went to Fortson out there probably just go, ah.
And I am not.
So here to help us analyze the direction that students, of course, are headed at Dearborn Public Schools, we're joined by Mike Asaley, Executive Director of Special Populations for Dearborn Public Schools. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you guys both for having me. I myself am a Fortson grad,
So
for all of you in awe, hopefully you can celebrate a little bit.
That cross-district rivalry.
There we go.
When it comes to diversity inclusion, when it comes to Dearborn Public Schools, you've been a part of this district for quite some time. So talk about your guys' mission and being able to not only speak for your students, but also to help serve them too.
Absolutely. We're really working on empowering our students, having student-led initiatives. Through our diversity, equity, and inclusion work, we do a lot of work with students. Obviously, what we want to do is we want to make sure that our staff has the, all the resources and the knowledge equipped to help our students grow and succeed. Through our DEI work, it's often, we have different segments and different presentations, and part of it is Middle Eastern culture and how to teach the Arab student. And within it, we debunk some myths. For example, one of the major myths is that all Arabs are Muslims. Well, we know that that's not necessarily true, so we want to ensure that our staff do understand and know that. With that being said, we know that we have a large also Muslim population within our Arab students as well. So it's very, very common right now. If you walk into one of our schools, you'll see that obviously it being the month of Ramadan now, you'll see different decorations depicting Ramadan and whatnot. We have many schools are hosting iftar dinners. In fact, next Thursday I get to go to one myself. Principal Rayback is hosting one at Woodworth Middle School, an iftar dinner for the community and for the family. And really what all this does, it empowers our students. I could tell you, when I was growing up, things were a little bit different. Even post 9/11, right? Whenever we were seeing things, whether it was through Hollywood or through the media, a lot of it, unfortunately, for the Arab population or even the Muslim population, was depicted very negatively. So how do we ensure that our students not only understand the beauty of the culture that they come from, but they understand the beauty of all cultures and the power of knowing the beauty of all cultures. And really in turn what that does is it builds the whole child. It builds their self-esteem, it builds their confidence to hopefully do great things and become great leaders. I know a little bit later you're going to have Representative El-Abbas Farhat on this show. He's actually a Dearborn-Fortson grad and part of just the different great things that we've been doing in Dearborn.
And we were talking, of course, earlier with the representative for the museum, and he was talking about how quickly the population obviously builds up and everything, and schools obviously have to try and keep up with that population growth, and Dearborn's been expanding. Is that something that becomes tricky over time, or how has it been? I mean, it seems like it's been handled pretty well trying to keep up with it.
It's great when we grow. I mean, we saw a huge boom with a lot of immigrants from the Middle East back in about 2008 to about 2016 or so. And it was a positive thing because it just enriches, obviously, your culture, your community, your district. Some of the challenges are to ensure that, we get the services that, some of our students need. They come, we automatically think, okay, they may need language services, but they also come, possibly with some trauma as well. So we wanted to ensure that we had counselors, social workers, and people really understand what it is to come from possibly whether it's a war-torn situation or from poverty or things along those lines.
And we mentioned the month of Ramadan is upon us. It just coincidentally happens to be during Arab American Heritage Month. And of course, I remember as a kid growing up in school and of course going to elementary school, there was really not a place for kids who were fasting, who were observing the month of Ramadan. But if you were to paint a picture of what that looks like at Dearborn Public Schools, what would that be?
Absolutely. So we are very, very cognizant of the needs of our students and all of our students, specifically for our students who are fasting or abstaining from food or drink during Ramadan. So what you would see is, I could tell you, from my days as an assistant principal at Lowry School, we'd have the auditorium available for students to go sit during lunchtime possibly and watch videos. Now throughout the day, our Director of Student Services, Mr. Ibrahim, make sure to remind the entire district that, hey, it is Ramadan coming up and here are some things, for example, in gym, maybe perhaps let's not be as rigorous as we usually are, and things along those lines. Understand things like, maybe possibly test taking should be done first thing in the morning, because as the day goes on, for a person who's fasting, it just may become more and more difficult. So we just want to make sure that everybody understands, and we're including everybody, to how we can accommodate the best of our cultures and our student population.
And it's a constantly evolving setup, even with the system as well, with how all these different things are provided to the students, and especially like you mentioned that there are different things like counseling, all that kind of stuff that are able to be provided. Is there a specific path, like a family, say they just came into the district, if they were watching right now, how would they go about getting access to that information? What can they do? Say they just came, now they're starting into the school system. What should they do?
Well, talk to any member in our district. We made sure, really honestly, opening day this year, what we did was we really focused on what we call social emotional learning, teaching the whole child, and really just ensuring that they just talk to any member within the school district and say, hey, I'm interested in some type of counseling, whether it's social work, whether it's through the schools or even, through private companies or whatnot. We try to connect with as much outreach as we can to ensure that we have the resources and services available. They can call the school district, they can visit our website, dearbornpublicschools.org. Call anybody really, and we'll make sure that we get them the help that they need.
You heard it here first from the Fortson Tractor himself.
There you go.
Awesome.
This pioneer is very impressed.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us so much. And of course, when we come back, we'll show you how Dearborn Heights firefighters are fasting for Ramadan. And of course, we'll introduce you to two local officials who helped make it happen.
I don't know if there's been a better time to start a brand new news operation.
The newsroom was pretty much starting from scratch.
It's fresh, it's innovative.
Lots of energy, lots of passionate reporters.
Knowing what we're starting here puts so much joy in my heart.
We have reporters who are embedded in these communities.
Many people throughout St. Clair Shores have been fighting to save this water tower.
If there's a miracle out there, get a hold of me.
We are part of the neighborhood. Our newsroom is part of your neighborhood.
Residents here on Stansbury say they are fed up with all this flooding that keeps happening.
We shouldn't have to live like this.
Telling the stories that otherwise nobody would know about. Now, AJ, you went to the downtown boxing gym and you really got to see how this gym is impacting kids' lives.
Yeah, Chris, as soon as I walked in the building, it was very uplifting.
It is a boxing gym, but it's more than boxing. You know, we do homework. We help them with the SAT.
When it comes to the weather, it's forecasting what's going to fall on your driveway, when is it going to happen, and how might it actually affect your day-to-day life.
Hundreds of people continue to call in reporting problems throughout the county.
Cleanup crews working all throughout Metro Detroit.
Get them down and get them cleaned up.
Local news to me means we're in your community, we're telling stories that matter to you, that affect you, that maybe we can get change and things done in your community.
She was born without a right arm, and then her legs didn't grow, I guess, the way that they should have.
But for 20-year-old Fortin High School alum Sumaya, she doesn't let that, or anything else for that matter, get in her way.
So you have a favorite button over there?
Yeah, you want to dress it?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and...
This is my favorite.
I hope everyone watching that piece in particular says, I want to help that little girl and help that family and help get her to college.
Well, we are rethinking the way local news is done in the 21st century and how to tell the most important stories in a compelling way.
You can get news anywhere, but for us, we're a fresh face with a new perspective, and we're trying to make a difference in the community, to tell stories that matter to you.
I think we're here to listen and actually hear what you're saying, and we're putting together a newscast that will show that.
I want to tell those people's stories because it's needed. Detroit is ready. Get ready, because here we come.
Reporting in Dearborn Heights.
Live in Wayne County.
Reporting in Adrian.
Live in Livonia.
Reporting from South Lyon, Kelly Vaughn.
CBS News Detroit.
Welcome back to the special 7 o'clock edition of CBS News Detroit. The month of Ramadan is the holiest month of the year for Muslims, and this year it so happens to fall during National Arab American Heritage Month. And Ibrahim, fasting is a part of it, but giving back is very, very important.
Oh, of course. And for Dearborn Heights City Councilman Mo Beydoun, it's his favorite time of the year, one that began with feeding firefighters fasting on the first day of Ramadan. Take a look.
From sun up.
First day of Ramadan, you know, it's truly, it's tired.
Until sundown.
You haven't eaten all day. How are you feeling?
Rough. I am so ready to eat, my man, and drink. I'm ready to eat and drink that bottle of water.
Muslims over the next month will be fasting during the month of Ramadan.
It's my favorite time of the year.
A feeling that Dearborn Heights Battalion Fire Chief Phil Hall says,
It's killing me. Like having a glass of water, like that's just something that I always have close to me, and that's probably been the hardest part.
He has become familiar with over the last couple of years.
That was my fear last year with the first annual iftar was, I don't think I can do this.
What City Councilman Mo Beydoun says first began as a joke.
When I was asked, why are you doing this? It was a joke. I told Phil Hall one day,
hey, you should fast and I'm gonna buy the food. And the next second I know there's 20 people fasting.
And Phil said, I can get my guys to fast.
Now has become a tradition.
Our police chief is fasting, our union president is fasting. There's about 10 other officers or firefighters that are fasting. I mean, really, it speaks for itself.
One that goes far beyond the food on the table.
There it is. How do you feel?
But ends with the lessons.
Ramadan is very, very important. It's very special. It's time about even when you don't have it and you're giving it, that's when it means the most.
That can be learned from it.
It's all about the community coming together and just having a space where we can all just sit, regardless of any kind of, race, religion, culture, whatnot, and just have time to have a meal with each other. And there's huge power in that.
With that, I'm Ibrahim Samra reporting in Dearborn Heights, and there's only one thing left to say, and that is... It certainly was a beautiful time last Thursday, or was that 2 weeks ago? Man, time flies.
Time
wow.
flies fast.
Well, joining me now are Mo Beydoun, Dearborn Heights City Councilman, and Alabas Farhat, that's the youngest Arab American to be elected to the State House. And of course, he's from Dearborn. So guys, thank you for joining me. And of course, I want to start with you, Mo.
Yes.
After watching that, what is your reaction to know that is becoming a tradition within Dearborn Heights?
If you listen to the video and when I was speaking, it started off as a joke. My friend Mo Cass and I,
we asked Phil Hall to go out and get some of your friends and some of the firefighters to fast, and we're going to buy their food. We're going to break fast with you. And it just so happens tradition lives on, and we hope to continue to help this grow and get leaders like Alabas, and hopefully continue having CBS News there and break fast with the firefighters and us in Dearborn Heights.
And I think that's an invitation.
Yeah, you know, I guilty as charged. There was some folks that were invited, and that was Ahmad Bajjey, and of course, Ahmad, you can blame me. And of course, Alabas, you were there at that iftar. Talk to me, what was that like?
You know, Mo has always been somebody who is very, very much, proud of his background, right? And as an Arab American, as a Muslim Arab American, first, Ramadan Mubarak to all of you that are fasting. But Mo put this together and has really set the model for what it looks like to not only co-govern, bring people together, but to inform people what it means to be an Arab American, to be a Muslim American that fasts, and what it means to go through, 18 hours of not eating or drinking water, right? I'll tell you, Mo, since I've known him, has always been a leader in many ways, and so when I was elected, one of the first resolutions I introduced actually was on Arab American Heritage Month. Because Mo's been doing it at the city for 2 years now. I got to play catch up here, so it was electric in that room.
And of course, for both of you, it's an initiative that not only continues to bring people within Dearborn Heights. We have someone from Dearborn Heights and we have someone from Dearborn, but we also have folks in Hamtramck, folks in Detroit. So to see all that evolve and be able to come together and bring people together, how does it make you feel?
Regardless, as long as everybody's working together, whether you're Arab, you're white, whatever it is, as long as you can come back to the common goal, and that's serving the residents, that's serving for your community, and properly governing this community.
And seeing how all of that, especially when you see everybody start to come together in that type of video as well, is this something that you hope really starts to spread out to even more places outside of just the department there?
Well, absolutely. And from what Alabas is trying to tell me, he wants to do something in Dearborn, kind of follow precedent of what Dearborn Heights is doing.
And of course, and Alabas, talk about that. Dearborn and Dearborn Heights, they're right next door, but of course.
No, they are. I'll say, when it comes to leading the way in community engagement, right? It's always a rivalry. Who can outdo who? And Mo's really set that tone. But hey, keep an eye out. Later in April, before Ramadan's over, we're going to have something soon, hopefully. Bringing some state leaders together, breaking bread in Dearborn is something just keep an eye on. I'll make sure we invite Ahmad and Ibrahim, hopefully, to this one.
Want that invite this time?
It'll be personally delivered. But it's a great way just to collaborate among cultures, among the diversity of our state. Arab Americans have contributed so much to our rich history, to our politics, to our policy. It's just more. The more way we can talk to each other, more way neighbor to neighbor can talk, the better it is in the community.
And you know what? I wish Phil Hall, the battalion chief for Dearborn Heights Fire Department, was here, because when I interviewed him and I started talking to him about how's it been going, and he's like, I think I could do without the food, but the coffee and the water for hours. I think it's commendable that as firefighters, now most of them, they're working all day long, and so to be able to do that, did you ever think that when you proposed this that he would say, yeah, sure, and by the way, we're going to have 10 more people do it as well?
So initially, how it started, as I said, it was a joke, but Phil said anybody that's working that day is required, as long as they're healthy, to be able to go ahead and fast. And everybody jumped up. The firefighters in Dearborn Heights do more than just fasting for this community. Oh, yeah. And when they fasted, they looked at us and they said, now I understand. Now I get it. And we appreciate food now. We appreciate breaking bread together, and really, it's more than just not eating and drinking, like I stated before. And so the firefighters, when they see us, and all they look at me and say, I can't believe we fasted. We're looking forward for next year. It's really excited. It truly is. It's exciting, and to see that Phil and his guys, came back and they fasted with Muslims in the community to really show that, hey, we understand, we know what's going on. We appreciate those guys and gals who fasted last year and this year.
So obviously, all of us understand what goes along with that, obviously, day to day. And you mentioned that they learned then through the process what it's like to go through that. Is there a way for people that don't know, that may be watching now, to learn and then to understand? Is there a way that you'd be able to have them reach out to be able to ask questions? That kind of thing?
Yeah, I know Mo, I always joke, when Mo was first running for office, he put his cell phone on every single thing we mailed. So much so that when I ran, I put my cell phone on everything we ran. We mailed. So if you ever have questions, ask your Muslim neighbor, ask your Arab neighbor. What's it like to fast? What is, how can we join you for iftar? one of the things that, I know the next speaker is going to talk about this too, as Arab Americans, we are the most hospitable people you'll meet. We are generous in spirit, generous in action, and so if folks want to learn, always reach out to your Arab Muslim neighbor. We're more than happy to talk and bring you over for dinner. It's a point of pride for us as Arab Americans.
And speaking of that generosity, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention some of the folks that help provide those meals.
Absolutely, absolutely, and again, we would be remiss. Hashem's Meat Market donated and cooked the food.
Yes.
Alamir, which is the first James Beard Award-winning restaurant in the state of Michigan, donated the appetizers. The Burger Truck in Dearborn Heights and the Custard Company in the city of Dearborn Heights.
Wow, amazing.
So, I mean, everything was donated, from dessert to food to appetizers. And the firefighters, I believe, bought the drinks. I think Alabas brought the napkins. But that was
well, thank you, Mo and Alabas, for coming on in tonight. I really appreciate you both coming on in. And we're going to be joined coming up here, by the way, by the founder of the Suhur Festival, that big one that keeps going on.
Oh, yeah.
Hassan Shami. He's going to be on in here with us coming up.
I don't know if there's been a better time to start a brand new news operation.
The newsroom was pretty much starting from scratch.
It's fresh, it's innovative.
Lots of energy, lots of passionate reporters.
Knowing what we're starting here puts so much joy in my heart.
We have reporters who are embedded in these communities.
Many people throughout St. Clair Shores have been fighting to save this water tower.
If there's a miracle out there, get a hold of me.
We are part of the neighborhood. Our newsroom is part of your neighborhood.
Residents here on Stansbury say they are fed up with all this flooding that keeps happening.
We shouldn't have to live like this.
Telling the stories that otherwise nobody would know about. Now, AJ, you went to the downtown boxing gym and you really got to see how this gym is impacting kids' lives.
Yeah, Chris, as soon as I walked in the building, it was very uplifting.
It is a boxing gym, but it's more than boxing. We do homework. We help them with the SAT.
When it comes to the weather, it's forecasting what's going to fall on your driveway, when is it going to happen, and how might it actually affect your day-to-day life.
Hundreds of people continue to call in reporting problems throughout the county.
Cleanup crews working all throughout Metro Detroit. Get them down and get them cleaned up.
Local news to me means we're in your community, we're telling stories that matter to you, that affect you, that maybe we can get change and things done in your community.
She was born without a right arm, and then her legs didn't grow, I guess, the way that they should have.
But for 20-year-old Fortin High School alum Sumaya, she doesn't let that, or anything else for that matter, get in her way.
So you have a favorite button over there?
Yeah, you want to dress it?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and...
This is my favorite.
I hope everyone watching that piece in particular says, I want to help that little girl and help that family and help get her to college.
Well, we are rethinking the way local news is done in the 21st century and how to tell the most important stories in a compelling way.
You can get news anywhere, but for us, we're a fresh face with a new perspective, and we're trying to make a difference in the community to tell stories that matter to you.
I think we're here to listen and actually hear what you're saying, and we're putting together a newscast that will show that.
I want to tell those people's stories because it's needed. Detroit is ready. Get ready, because here we come.
Reporting in Dearborn Heights.
Live in Wayne County. Reporting in Adrian.
Live in Livonia.
Reporting from South Lyon, Kelly Vaughn.
CBS News Detroit.
Welcome back, community, unity, and charity. That's what the Ramadan Suhur Festival in Dearborn is all about.
Of course, and from fashion to food, more than 70 vendors are at this year's festival. And while they had to cancel because of the weather today,
sorry,
Ahmad,
my bad.
you can still experience it this weekend. Here's a look back at opening night and what you can expect this weekend.
From the streets of New York.
New York is the best.
To the sunshine of Los Angeles.
California, man.
To long lines. Have you ever been here before?
No, this is my first time.
Right here in Dearborn. This year's
Ramadan Suhur Festival, baby,
is finally here.
You guys all coming out? Sorry for the wait. Take out your phones. Let's go, let's go.
Inside, lights filling the faces of soon-to-be tens of thousands of people.
Definitely a privilege to be living in Dearborn, a place that can bring all these Muslims and Arabs and people from different cultures and backgrounds to our city.
There are more than 70 vendors stretching from food to fashion.
To see it finally come together, it just
just so beautiful.
Both local and flying in from across the country, doing it
Aki Way is here. And,
No way.
the Aki way.
Sure.
And bringing their social media fame like the Furha family.
Nader, last name Furrha.
The favorite son?
The best son.
That's a great answer.
All the way to Dearborn, not just for the precious food, but to give back during the month of Ramadan.
It's a wonderful thing, man, what they got going on. A lot of Muslims come together and make the community closer. We're actually doing a charity here tonight. We're going to be donating a lot of profits to a charity.
We also want to shout out the Ramadan Suhur Festival for having us. We want to thank them. Thank you so much. Yep, shout out to my boy Haas at Ramadan Suhur Fest.
Reporting in Dearborn, I'm Ibrahim Samra, and this is
CBS News Detroit.
You got it.
The Aki Way.
Popway.
The Aki Way.
And of course, joining us now is the man himself, probably the busiest person in Detroit or the Dearborn area.
I think so.
Hassan Shabby, the organizer, the founder of the Suhur Festival. And Hassan, after watching that again, what goes through your mind?
I watched it many times. Big smile.
Awesome.
That's nice.
I have a very serious question. When do you sleep?
If you ask the cops and the fire marshals the other day, I had my eye mask on. I was sleeping in the car waiting for a meeting. They're banging on my truck like, hey, what are you doing? So throughout the month, it's just sporadic.
Nice.
You know, I think, Ahmad, you better watch for your job, because I think this guy's just as much into the weather as you are, especially with the Suhur Festival.
Is learning a lot of things too, with how everything tries to get set up and all that, and just, I mean, you're definitely going to have enough of that weather knowledge by the way to come after me soon.
And of course, there are very great initiatives when it comes to this Suhur Festival, not about the food or the fashion, but also about giving back. And you just announced a local partnership recently.
Yeah, so we partnered with Lawrence Tech University, where they're going to offer 20 attendees, high school students, or first year out of high school, scholarships, $18,000 a year, up to $72,000 for 4 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a major partnership. They've seen that we gave 12 scholarships from our own fund last year, and they said, hey, let's partner up and let's do this.
That's amazing.
And when you see, that's not the only thing that's going on. I mean, there's vendors all across the entire Suhur Festival who are giving a portion of their proceeds.
Yeah, many vendors give a portion of the proceeds. All the proceeds from the Ramadan Suhur Festival itself, for the organizers, get donated to charity. We sent people to pilgrimage. Last year, we were fortunate enough to send 10 people to pilgrimage, 5 to Ziyarah, 5 to Umrah. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing. This entire festival is about giving back. It started by trying to get kids off the streets in the middle of the night, on the weekends, you know, when they're hanging out during Ramadan. A safe place for families to come to, and then it's just like the growth has been exponential over the years. So it's a blessing from God.
I was going to ask, how does the process of making something like this from scratch? I mean, let's go way back, making this completely from scratch. Where does that even start?
Start with an idea in a group chat, and then you just take it day by day. You just got to execute. You know, if you're going to talk about something, you got to walk the walk as well. So we put it together. 2018, it was like a little pop-up festival. And I noticed that's where the vision came from. I was like, whoa, I think the community is very attracted to something like this. 2019 is when we officially became a festival. That was our first official year, and then last year, we took a break in COVID. Mm-hmm. Last year is when we blew up.
And you know, this area has been accustomed to these festivals for, since 2018? Yeah. And now you have people coming from all across the country. There are people, I see the comments on Instagram, they're like, when are you going to do this in New York? When are you going to do this in Chicago? But to that you say what?
One of our pillars is unity. And if I can branch the Ramadan Suhur Festival out to all the Muslim communities, the large Muslim communities across America, and have the Ramadan Suhur Festival of Dallas, the Ramadan Suhur Festival of Tampa, and have it as a unity project that we all work on together, that would be the dream.
And it being Arab American Heritage Month starting tomorrow, this is not only a festival that is open to Muslims who are participating or observing in the month of Ramadan. This brings people all across the country.
Yeah, everybody is welcome. It's a place to build bridges between communities, Arabs, non-Arabs, Muslims, non-Muslims. We had many Christian universities from Indiana, from Ohio, from Grand Rapids come out. It's a place where everybody's welcome. It's a place where you feel the essence of community, and it's a place of happiness.
So what are your hopes now? I mean, like you said, it blew up last year, and it's big, and sorry about the rain this year. It would be big tonight, but where do we go even just from here going forward? I mean, that scholarship thing is huge. What are your hopes to even just expand even from that?
You know, I'm the type of guy where I take it, you know, one day at a time. I have a long-term vision, but I just focus on the present. It's all about, you know, with Ramadan going back 10 days every year, we got to keep adapting to the weather changes. But there is no indoor facility that's big enough to host something this big, you know? So it's just, I've been already working with tent companies for the next year of how to get better tents, more structured tents, and a bigger space to fit everybody in so we can continue to expand on charity and unity and whatnot.
Amazing. Well, thank you for coming on in. I mean, we've got more, by the way. He's not going anywhere just yet. So what we want you to do then is stick around because we're going to have a taste of Terry Milk, one of the finest food trucks that you're going to find at the Ramadan Suhur Festival. That's coming up here in a minute.
I don't know if there's been a better time to start a brand new news operation.
The newsroom was pretty much starting from scratch.
It's fresh, it's innovative.
Lots of energy, lots of passionate reporters.
Knowing what we're starting here puts so much joy in my heart.
We have reporters who are embedded in these communities.
We are part of the neighborhood. Our newsroom is part of your neighborhood.
Telling the stories that otherwise nobody would know about.
Now, AJ, you went to the downtown boxing gym and you really got to see how this gym is impacting kids' lives.
Yeah, Chris. As soon as I walked in the building, it was very uplifting.
It is a boxing gym, but it's more than boxing. You know, we do homework. We help them with the SAT.
When it comes to the weather, it's forecasting what's going to fall on your driveway, when is it going to happen, and how might it actually affect your day-to-day life.
Hundreds of people continue to call in reporting problems throughout the county.
Cleanup crews working all throughout Metro Detroit. Get them down and get them cleaned up.
Local news to me means we're in your community, we're telling stories that matter to you, that affect you.
Well, we're rethinking the way local news is done in the 21st century and how to tell the most important stories in a compelling way.
Local news is all about letting people know what's happening in their community.
We're here to listen and actually hear what you're saying, and we're putting together a newscast that will show that.
I want to tell those people's stories because it's needed. Detroit is ready. Get ready because here we come.
Welcome back. You know, we're a few minutes away from sunset still. 7:57 for tonight, but we're joined again here by Hassan Shambi, organizer of the Ramadan Suhur Festival. We got some stuff now in front of us.
Yeah, it's like magic. Poof. It wasn't there, and now it's there now.
How'd that happen?
How did that happen?
in the back.
Hey, there we go.
Speaking of Chef Terry Melt is where this came from. Just one of the many food trucks that you'll find at the Ramadan Suhur Festival. And Hassan, why don't you walk us through this?
So the Terry Melt, we have a store on Ford Road, and there's also a food truck at the Ramadan Suhur Festival known for their melts, named after Terry. This is the patty melt right here. You got the spicy chicken melt. Then on this side, you got the steak melt, and this is our special. We brought it out during Lent. We're gonna keep it for now. It's a fried grouper fish tacos. And that was also cool. The store also has, and the Ramadan Suhur Festival has Z's bubble tea. They're now at 4 locations. They started at the Terry Melt. These are 3 amazing bubble teas we got right on the table for you guys.
So I really like being able to show this spread because for somebody that doesn't know anything about it, they probably sit here and they go, oh, it's all just going to be Middle Eastern food.
Yeah, it's not.
But that's not how it is.
No, actually, I think it's the minority. There's so much Middle Eastern food we're bringing out. You know, we're so used to Middle Eastern cuisines that now these vendors are bringing out all their crazy street foods, right? Yeah. So there's fusion. There's so many. You got from ramen to melts to shawarmas. Anything you think of, you can find at the Ramadan Suhur Festival.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this one. I'm losing consciousness.
Trying out. Now, big thing then going into the rest of obviously the month and going toward the end of Ramadan. Are the trucks and everything that's offered there? Does it switch night to night when you're holding it, or are they always going to be the same places there each time?
Well, here's the good thing. We just did this today. They're always going to be the same vendors at the Ramadan Suhur Festival, but during the week, for the next 3 weeks, we got 2 lots, one at Hype Athletics and one at the truck park in East Dearborn on Schaefer, where our trucks are going to be rotating Monday through Thursday because there's such a high demand for their food. So rather than just being stuck on the weekends, they got spaces on the weekdays as well.
I mean, that's an amazing setup to be able to see, especially like what you're talking about with that. And going into it too, we had been talking back and forth, obviously about the weather, but you were mentioning how last week on Sunday, I mean, gorgeous outside. I mean, how packed were you at the end of the weekend?
So it started raining at 12:30, right? But between 10:30 and 12:30, we had about 7,500 people walk through the doors. The line was around the mall. Wow. And then it started pouring, but everybody was already inside. But please give us one good day.
Tomorrow night, I promise, tomorrow night, the wind dies down by like 5 or 6. We're going to be all right.
Okay.
I'm going to walk him through, actually, in the next weather center after this so we can make sure we get the weather right for you tomorrow. But let's go back to that also, too. You got the mall, right? That's something I had wondered, too. How did you come about picking that location to hold this at?
Yeah, there's a general manager named Danny Fayad. He's from Dearborn, and we just connected, and he's been such a tremendous help and a support of the festival. And it's a middle point of Dearborn and Dearborn Heights. You know, you're right off Evergreen, Ford Road, Michigan Avenue, Southfield. It's a perfect perfect place. It's away from residential neighborhoods. It's away from commercial businesses. You know, away from the business district. So it was just a perfect place for us to have it. And with the amount of parking that we need, it's been a blessing to us. You know, and we hope we can always keep it at Fairlane.
And you can go ahead.
Well, yeah, thank you, Ahmad. I really appreciate that. You know, obviously we have the food here, and I think a lot of people are probably like, why aren't they digging in? Well, we still got a couple minutes. Some of us are fasting here, so we're just going to tease you for the next 30 seconds. 1 minute, my producer says. But before we go, Hassan, any last words just about looking ahead to tomorrow and, of course, Sunday?
Yeah, just we welcome everyone there. You know, you don't have to be Muslim to come. Everybody's welcome. We got people coming from all over the country. It's been amazing. The hotels in the area are sold out. My DMs are flooded with people saying, hey, I'm coming from out of town. What's the weather looking like? You know, so that's why I'm on you. But, you know, everybody's welcome. You know, if you're watching this, please show up. Come enjoy the festival. Come have some great food. And allow us to showcase our religion and our culture, because that's what it's here for. So let's build some bridges.
Amazing.
Ahmed, I want you to ask me if I'm going to the Ramadan Suhur Festival this weekend.
Ibrahim, are you going to the Ramadan Suhur Festival?
Sure. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you better head to the Ramadan Suhur Festival this weekend.
You got to get the inside joke yourself. Well, thank you. Thank you, by the way, for coming on in. And thank all of you for watching this special edition of CBS News Detroit at 7.
We'll see you later tonight for CBS News Detroit at 11. Just or should I say good night?